Well, good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Cozy Old School RuneScape Lore. It's the podcast where we explore the places, the people, the pieces of paper that tell us more about Gielinor, the land of old school RuneScape. I'm your host, Driftray, and tonight we are continuing our Varlamore region-locked, chunk-based Ironlike account. Last episode, we finished off the Moonrise Alchemical Headquarters chunk, and we unlocked the Darkmoon Ravine chunk, which is where we're headed now. Let's start by exploring this chunk. On our way, I'll tell you what our tasks are. None. So we can, as soon as we explore this place, we can immediately roll a new chunk, which is kind of exciting. So I'm going to run over to the west side of Moonrise Alchemical Headquarters, and there is an agility shortcut that we're going to take down to the Darkmoon Ravine. This is the furthest west chunk on Aldarin, and as I mentioned in the last episode, there is an area that is inaccessible. It's kind of like a little island connected by a bridge to the Aldarin mainland. There's a porcupine, a bird, and a capybara here. Let's see, can I run down? I think we're already reaching the limits of where we can walk on this chunk. Oh, there's a cave. I didn't see that before. Alright. But I can't enter it. I can't even interact with the cave entrance. So that's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm guessing this is going to be included content in a future update. I'm running north again past these kind of cliffs that are blocking off the area, and there's kind of a little ramp that goes down on the grass up to the coast, and I think that's as far out as we can run. Okay, it's pretty limited, the amount, like the places that we can go in this chunk so far, but I can see these buildings that are by the bridges, and they have like ladders going up to the roofs, and because of the mountains I can't really move the camera too much, but there's even an NPC over there. Oh, it's a bandit. I can examine the bandit, a deadly outlaw. Okay, so there's like maybe a bandit outpost there. There's a boat, a fishing boat I can examine. It says a local fishing boat. So I'm wondering if there's like some sort of quest or a mini game connected with this area that'll lead them to release it in a future update. Alright, and then I'm gonna run back up this grass ramp. There are 3 trees in this area that we can chop down. We can examine the cypress trees around here. It says an impressively tall tree native to Varlamore. Alrighty. I think that's it. I think that is all that we can explore in this chunk. Just a little strip of land that's actually walkable, traversable, and then the rest is beyond these cliffs. So I'm standing kind of in the middle of the ravine right now, and to my west there's these cliffs, and then on the other side of the cliffs it's kind of like another ravine with some water running through it from the ocean, and then that's where those buildings are nestled in, but we can't even go there. Alright. So I'm going to climb up the rocks, back to Moonrise Alchemical Headquarters chunk, and now it's time for us to roll a new chunk. So, I'm going to roll 2. There's 3 chunks available right now that are rollable. Okay, so it's giving us the option of the docks or the chunk that's directly north of Moonrise Alchemical Headquarters, and I'm going to choose the one that's directly north of Moonrise Alchemical Headquarters because I want to okay, there's the docks and the chunk that's immediately to the north of Moonrise Alchemical Headquarters, and I'm going to choose the latter one, the one that's just to the north of Moonrise Alchemical Headquarters, because, like I've said before, I want to explore all of Aldarin before we leave, and so I want the docks to be the last chunk that we unlock and complete. And so from the 2 that I was given, I'm choosing the Aldarin Mansions North. And let us calculate our tasks. There's one new task here. Grow wildblood hops. Okay, and if I look at that, the details for that task, I can see that you get the wildblood seed for the hops from thieving. You can loot a chest in the Aldarin villas. And I think I will need 3 seeds to be able to actually plant the hops. So I'm going to, first of all, unlock the chunk in my map. It's chunk 5422. Okay, there's 5422. And now I should be able to see that unlocked in my in-game map. There we go. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chunks in Varlamore unlocked so far. There's only 2 left. And there's a tiny corner of Varlamore also in another chunk, but that chunk will be unlocked the next one after we unlock the docks. It unlocks the docks on the Sunset Coast on the mainland of Varlamore, and then we'll be able to proceed from there. Okay, so I have to find the chest in the new chunk, the Aldarin Mansions North chunk. I have to find the chest where I can thieve it to get 3 wildblood seeds. So I'm running north on this newly opened path. There's potatoes we can pick here. Very cool. Potatoes. There's a farmer. There's a scarecrow. And we can also pick onions here. This is great. We just got like 2 new vegetables unlocked. There's a loom that we can weave on. That's great. There's a building. I'm getting a little... Oh, there's a bucket that already has water in it. That's cool. And there's a building that has stairs going up, so I'm just going to let myself get sidetracked a little bit and check out this building. It has... Oh, there's a chest. That might be a chest. So maybe the sidetrack actually led us there. I failed a picklock. Oh no. I wonder how hard this is going to be to picklock. I activated a trap and it teleported me away. Thankfully it teleported me within the chunk and didn't make me go outside my chunk. So I'm going to have to work on that one, probably for a while until I get 3 wildblood seeds. But, so, great, we already found the place where we need to continue, like the place where we need to work to do our chunk task. I'm going to climb up the ladder in the little farmhouse to the north. And there's just a bed and a table up here. I think that is it. Wait. There are leather gloves on the table. That's so funny that I had to unlock leather gloves in the last episode. And then in our very next chunk, they're just sitting on the table. Oh well. Now we have an easier way of getting them if we ever need to reclaim them. There's some citizens around here, and then there are some stairs that are going up to a little bit of a higher level, to another building, another kind of mansion. There's a hammer on a table here. There's a workbench. If I examine it, it says, might be handy for a workman. And there's an oven we can cook in. Oh, there's Chichilihui Rosé on, which is worth 1,000 GP on the Grand Exchange, but I'm not going to sell it on the Grand Exchange. I can't do that. That was just on a table outside of this mansion here. If I drink it, it would increase my hit points. It would increase my herblore level. So interesting. I didn't know that was an herblore boost. And then it would decrease my attack by 5 and my farming by 1. Okay, so that is a level 1 herblore boost. drink. Very cool. Well, if I ever need that, that's good to know about. And then I'm climbing up the stairs to the second level here. Oh, there's more chests we can picklock. I don't think I'm going to be able to resist. Once I go all the way to the top of the stairs, I'll climb back down here and work on that. And then there's a Sunbeam Ale. I think we already looked at that in the last episode. But yeah, hit points, agility, and strength get boosted. Okay, so that's good to know. An agility boost we have access to, but then it decreases attack by 5. So I'm going to drop the Sunbeam Ale and the Rosé because I don't need to hold on to them. I can pick them up again anytime from their item spawns. And there's another chest at the top floor of this building. That's the only thing else I can find. So I'm going to picklock that until I got it. I unlocked it, and I got, 10 Blessed Bone Shards. That's really cool. So once we unlock Rallos Rise, and I activated a trap, but once we unlock Rallos Rise, we'll be able to train some prayer here in this series. There's a wandering guard around this house that I got teleported near, and it says inconvenient occasionally. Well, I'm going to try to enter this house window now that the guard's looking away. That's a way I can get into the house. And I think this is for the Death on the Isle quest. Yeah, this is how you get the butler's uniform initially, so I'm going to say, yeah, I don't need that. And what else is in this building? This house. I don't see any item spawns. Let's go up the staircase to the second level. There's regular house stuff, no item spawns. I'm going to climb up the ladder to probably the roof. And there's an iron scimitar? Maybe that's not as good as my... Here, let's see. It's just different. It has way better slash. It has +7 slash compared to my iron dagger. And +2 crush, but it has -3 stab. I wonder why that's not like some kind of best in slot weapon, but I'm going to hold on to that. That's great that we can have an iron scimitar here. Great, so I'm going to climb down the ladder, and I'm going to climb down the stairs, and open the front door and leave. The door is locked, so I can't. Well, I'm going to climb through the window to get out of here. And there is a cabbage patch right near this mansion. And then there is a statue of Quoatlos. Examine statue. A statue of the legendary hero Quoatlos, the feathered serpent. Very cool. And another cabbage patch. And there is a dog here eating a cabbage and leaving dog footprints. And the dog's name is Lock McScruff. Lock McScruff, and it's like a bloodhound wearing a like detective cap, like one of those old-timey detective caps with like the front and back that flaps, and it's like green. And if I examine the dog, it says he's busy investigating a cabbage crime scene. So maybe the other dog, there's another dog here named Wolfson, who's, maybe they're eating the cabbage and the other dog's examining the scene. And Wolfson, if I examine, it says he's examining some suspicious muddy footprints. That's kind of funny. And now I'm on the eastern edge of the new chunk, and kind of right next to the docks chunk that we will unlock soon. And that is it for most of this chunk, except for just running north to the seaside. There's some lovely flowers and several trees. There's a unicorn. Okay, so I could get unicorn horns here. If I examine the unicorn, it says horse with a horn. And if I run the other way, if I run to the west along the shoreline, there's just some more trees. There's some copper long-tailed birds, and if I examine them, it says nothing much to get in a flap about. That's pretty much it for exploring this chunk. So now I need to get to work on picklocking the chests here so that I can get 3 wildblood seeds so that we can grow some wildblood hops, and that will be our ticket out of this chunk and into a new chunk. So I'm going to work on that, and I will let you know when I'm ready to plant some wildblood seeds. Okay, well, I picklocked chests in the Aldarin mansion for quite some time, and I finally got the wildblood seeds I needed. I thought it was 3, but I actually need 4 to be able to plant hops. And I also got an uncut ruby. I kept one of those. I got a number of things from the chests, which include 4 types of gems: emeralds, sapphires, rubies, and diamonds. I don't have a way of selling them yet, and once we unlock the docks chunk, I'll be able to sell gems to the gem shop, and I can make money doing that. But speaking of money, I have so much more money than last time. I think I had like 500 GP or maybe a little bit less before I started this grind, and now I have 93,615 GP. I got rid of a bunch of stuff in my inventory. I sold the adamant square shield to the shield shop, just to make it like a little bit more straightforward to do this chest picklocking, because every time I fail there's a chance I get teleported away, and that happened quite a bit. And so I would just drop everything in my inventory that I'm not keeping, that I got from the chest, and I run back to the chest, and that let me stay for longer, just to kind of fill up those spaces before I had to do more dropping. So pretty much every time I got teleported away on my run back, I would just drop everything I didn't need. And it took 541 chests to get the 4 seeds, and that's a little bit better than average. The average drop rate for 1 seed is 175.5, I believe. And so to get 4 seeds, that'd be 702 chests, and I got it in only 541 chests, so we had a little bit of luck. And I'm really going to take it, because that's super nice. So, what this means is I can go plant these wildblood seeds and grow some wildblood hops, which is our last chunk task, I believe. Let me go double check the chunk tasks. Alright, yep, just grow some wildblood hops. So, I'm going to get my rake out of the tool leprechaun storage. So I got my rake, and I need to buy 2 things from Erkos, the farmer that's here, who can watch over the crops. I think I would need nasturtiums to give Erkos here like a bunch of nasturtiums for farmer protection of the crops, and I don't have that, so the next best thing I can do is watering can and plant cure. So I just bought a watering can and a plant cure from Erkos, and now I need to fill up the watering can at the nearby water source, the fountain here in Aldarin. Okay, so now I have 8 waterings worth of water in my watering can. And the plant cure is in case it becomes diseased. Watering it will decrease the chance of disease each growth cycle, and if it does become diseased, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to baby these hops as they grow, because I don't want them to die if they become diseased. I'll use the plant cure on them. I'll water each growth cycle. I don't have any compost I can use, so I can't use that to decrease the chances of disease. I just have to stay here and baby them for, I think it's about an hour or so, that they're going to take to grow, because I really don't want them to die, because then I would have to redo that whole grind and maybe open like 700 more chests to get 4 more seeds. So I'm going to play it safe. So let's rake this hops patch. Oh, I also need to buy a seed dibber, so I will buy 1 seed dibber from Erkos. And now I'm going to use the wildblood seeds on the hops patch, and all 4 go in. And now I can use the watering can on the wildblood hops, and they are watered. And I'm going to inspect them, and it says, "This is a hops patch. The soil has not yet been treated. The patch has wildblood hops growing in it and is at state 1 of 9. So now we wait. It says it should be done, and I'm trying to do the math. So it's an hour and 20 minutes. It should be about an hour and 20 minutes until it's done. So I'm just going to stay here, watch over them, water them if anything goes wrong, if I notice signs of disease when they grow. I'm going to water them each time they grow, and if I notice signs of disease, then I'll use the plant cure on the hops. And in the meantime, I'm going to go exchange with a tool leprechaun, and now we have a seed dibber unlocked. So the seed dibber and the rake are with the tool leprechaun now. And now it's time to just watch over the crops until they grow all the way, completing our last chunk task. So I will let you know when they are safely grown. Well, hello. I saw that the wildblood hops just grew. So that is a chunk task complete. And that is all the tasks in this chunk finally complete. While it was growing, I just kept picklocking the chest up in the mansion because it was nice because up there I could still see the hops patch, and so I could keep an eye on it. And it took about an hour and a half because it did get diseased once, but I used plant cure on it and brought it back to life. And so it took maybe about 10 minutes longer than I expected, but it's all done, it's all grown up. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rubies from the chest, an extra almost 70,000 GP. We got an uncut diamond, a couple of eclipse reds, and we actually got another wildblood seed. So all in all, that was 949 chests. So let's see, for 5 wildblood seeds, what would the drop rate be? We would need to do 877.5 chests, so we're just a little bit over the drop rate, but still kind of within the drop rate threshold. And I also did a little bit more grapes harvesting, so I have 5 grapes again. I don't know if I'm going to keep them. Maybe there will be use for them, but I'm not sure. And the reason we have I kept the rubies and the eclipse red and the uncut diamond is because I think when we unlock the docks, we'll be able to sell the extra gems, and there's also a general store there. We'll sell the gems to the gem shop, and hopefully I can sell just these couple of wines to the general store and just make a little bit of extra money. And then I'm just going to keep this wildblood seed for now, just in case there's any use for wildblood hops, because if I ever want to do another, raise another crop of hops, I'm already 1 seed into the 4 I need. So I figured since they're rare and I just did a grind for 4 of them, I might as well just keep the 1 extra one for now. So I'm going to exchange with the tool leprechaun. I'm going to deposit my watering can. Oh, I already have a watering can in there, so I'm just going to consider that the same one that I have access to now. And I'm going to deposit my plant cure there, so now we have a plant cure. And we have 4 open inventory spots. So now we've done everything we need to do in this chunk. We've explored it, we've talked to people, and importantly, we've done all the chunk tasks. So it is time to roll a new chunk. So I'm going to click roll 2 on the map. I already know which 2 it's going to roll because we only have 2 that we have access to. It's the northwest one and the northeast one. They are called Aldarin Coastal Magics and Aldarin Docks. We are going to unlock Aldarin Coastal Magics, and we only have, after that, 1 chunk left, the docks, and then we've unlocked all of Aldarin. When we unlock the docks and complete the tasks in that chunk, our next chunk will be Sunset Coast, and then we'll be able to go to the mainland of Varlamore and start unlocking all sorts of new lands and new things to do. There is 1 chunk task in the new chunk, and that is make a part wild pie. So it's just putting a raw bear meat in a pie dish, so that'll be pretty quick next time. We might do 2 chunks next time. I think we did 2 chunks this time. So yeah, we're really getting there by finishing up Aldarin. So I think that's gonna do it. We also got in total 546 blessed bone shards from the chest here in the mansion, so it'll be nice to put that toward prayer training eventually when we unlock Ralos Rise. But I think that's going to do it. I'm going to run over across town and kind of get ready to say goodbye for this episode. But I think this was a pretty good one. Now we have a total of 162,000 GP, so much more than the 490 something we started this episode out with. So we have like kind of a nice cash stack for the the early kind of stages of this region locked chunk based Ironlike series, and we have some nice things that are setting us up for success for the next episode. I want to thank you for tuning in and joining me as I did our biggest grind so far. The previous grind was just a little one in Mistrock, just doing some mining for ore so we could afford the adamant shields. But this time, this was quite a bit longer to get. All in all, 949 chests in the Aldarin villas, and we finally grew our wildblood hops, completing all the chunk tasks for this area. So thanks so much, and I hope you have such a good evening and that you sleep so well, and I'm going to say good night and goodbye for now.